Wish Award event. So we welcome everybody and we are so happy that you're here. If you have any issues or questions, please, if you're having any problems, you can go ahead and call our office, or if you are able to get in, you can mention things on the chat and we'll talk about that in a minute. Today, we have quite a few people on, so we had to use the setting where we don't get to see everybody's face. So unfortunately, we won't be able to see you on camera unless you are a panelist and participating in our event. But we have changed some of the features in our chat a little bit. So if you have any questions, or if anything comes up or you want to make a comment or a reaction to what's going on, we are encouraging everyone to use the chat, because there's some fun additional features that we haven't enabled before that we wanted to be able to use today. Okay, so just kind of for the record, and I know we've had a few questions, we are recording our event today, and so we will share that at the end of the event, and we'll just share that in the usual ways. And then if you, like I mentioned, if you had any questions, please reach out. So how things are going to go a little bit today, we are going to talk about the Wish Award and present that award. Then we have a guest speaker who is going to join us. And then at the end, we will wrap up, and the Utah Safety Council President, John Wojciechowski, will say a few words at the end, but that will be it. Today is really mostly about presenting the Wish Award, and so we want to make sure that that's where our focus is. So that is why we are here today. So we are really excited. I know last year, it was a year ago today, that we had a great in-person event and honored last year's Wish Award winner, and that was Kristen Schulson, and she is joining us today as well. So it was really fun to have her as our winner, and we had a great in-person event last year, but this year we ended up obviously going virtual. So we've worked really hard to make sure that it's still a fun and engaging event that's focused on the Wish Award, still professional, but a chance for us to kind of get together and celebrate and honor an amazing woman who has done so much. So that is what we are going to do today. So our event does look a little bit different this year, but we are really happy to be here, and we are happy to do it virtually. I do want to take a minute and just mention that the Women in Safety organization is part of the Utah Safety Council. So the Utah Safety Council created this organization for women in the safety sector to have a group of resources and networking, and so that's kind of where that came from. I also want to take a minute and mention that we are here today and we get to do things like Women in Safety because of the Labor Commission and the funding and the support that they provide for us. So we are very appreciative of that, and so we want to make sure to mention thank you to the Labor Commission for allowing us to do these great things. I wanted to just quickly show you, this is who you have on the Safety Council. I usually like to start events by introducing my team. So it's a little bit different the way I'm going to do it, but I still wanted to just mention to you that this is the Utah Safety Council right here. Kind of at the top row on the left, we have John Wojciechowski, our president. On the right next to him is Cameron Clark, and he's our occupational safety training manager. So I think a lot of you got emails from him. So both John and Cameron, I call them our honorary women in safety because they are extremely supportive. They're supportive bros. They support us quite a bit, and we appreciate all their support. And then in the picture, if you look just under John on the left there, you'll see Amy Figueroa. Next to her, kind of just smack in the middle, is Cassie Henson. I'm sorry, and Amy is our office assistant, and she's our interim manager. Cassie is our customer service manager. She also runs the computer lab and the tow truck program. So very busy. Kind of next to Cassie and just kind of to the right and slightly under Cameron there is Megan Spackman, and she runs our mining and refinery safety training programs. And she also participates in Women in Safety with us quite a bit. Kind of Next to her on the right, if you're going down, that's Laura Brown, and she is our accounting manager here. She's kind of our backbone. She keeps us on the straight and narrow, make sure we're doing what we need to do to operate and run. So, and then I'm there in the corner, that's me. I didn't introduce myself earlier, so I'm Lisa Christofferson, and I am the membership manager here at the Utah Safety Council. So it's been about a year now that I've been in this role, and probably my favorite thing about the role that I get to do is women in safety. So I'm so happy to be here. Next to me on the left there in the front is Nicole Rilk, and she is our traffic safety program manager. Then next to her on the left is Brandy Crockett, and she is our vice president of operations. And then last in the corner, but very not least this year, I promise, this is Kenzie Logue, and she is our emergency care manager. So this is your Utah Safety Council. This is our team. And I wanted to mention and introduce quickly our Women in Safety Steering Committee. These ladies are on with us today, and they will be participating as well. But I don't know what I would do without them. They're amazing, and they worked so hard to make sure that this event was great today, and to make sure that Women in Safety is an engaging and beneficial organization. So we have Naomi Resendez, and she's from Oakland Construction Company. We have Candy Schnakenberg, and she is from First Medical Clinic. And then we have Joy Glad, and she's with Dynamic Safety and Environmental, and that's her business. So this is the group of women who are on our steering committee currently, and they worked very hard. So thank you so much for your hard work, and I just wanted to introduce them to everybody. Okay. So I should go forwards and not backwards. Before the next thing we wanted to talk about is kind of engagement, because that's so important when we're doing virtual events, and we want to make sure, that everybody can participate and feels heard, and we all get to engage together. And so we did a few things to make sure that happened today. And one of those things is our participant engagement kit that you should have received in the mail. So hopefully you got that, and I just want to talk quickly about that so that you know what it is and what you got and how to use it. You should have opened it up and received a reminder for our Utah Safety Council conference, or the Utah Conference and Expo. It looks like this, that's coming up. So make sure that you watch for those registrations to be open. We're really excited about that, and we're really excited about the Women in Safety event that we're going to be holding in conjunction with that. So that was in there. You should have also received a little card with your DoorDash code on there. So how you use that is you either, if you don't have it, you download the DoorDash app on your phone, or just go to DoorDash.com, and you're going to find where it says gift card or PIN code, and it's kind of at the bottom. You scroll in like the settings, and you just type that code in, and it gives you a $15 credit. So if you've ever done like an iTunes gift card and you have the code and you had scratched it off, it's similar to that. So just take that code, go ahead and put it in at DoorDash, and enjoy your lunch on us. Since we weren't able to have a luncheon event, you can obviously use that anytime, but we wanted to, food is always important to provide with a great event. So we wanted to make sure we didn't miss you on that. So that is that. So it's not really Oprah's favorite things, but some of Lisa's favorite things, and some things that I had talked about. We included a blanket, right? A lovely blanket. This is my one last one. So if you didn't get one, you should. So make sure, and please let me know if anybody's missing anything out of any of their kits. Please let me know. You should have gotten that, and that's because supposedly it's supposed to snow this winter. I'm hearing maybe tomorrow, but I'm not sure if I believe it. But it's just a good way to kind of keep warm. We also really liked the idea of having kind of a cup or something with the Women in Safety logo, so that you could drink your hot or cold beverages as you engage in our meeting here today. And then we had some stickers, and then what else did we include? A little cute little chocolate, and that's just because I don't joke about chocolate. We learned about that last year. So chocolate's very important, and you never have to have a reason to include chocolate, and I will not joke about it. So that is why we have chocolate. Okay. And then the last thing I included this year was our little adventure light. So this is, our family calls these adventure lights, right? So this has been a crazy year. Our Wish Award virtual event adventure is kind of what we're doing now, but I'm really excited about our guest speaker today. And the reason why I like her is because she makes challenges kind of seem like adventures, and she helps make that transition so that you can look at your challenges more as adventures. And so when I have my adventure light, that will remind me of her and her challenges, and making sure that my challenges can turn into adventures, and that I'm always prepared to do that, and I've got what I need. So that is your adventure light. So hopefully you enjoy those participant kits, and if you didn't get any, or you didn't get it, or there's a problem, it's missing something, you're having an issue with your code, please let me know, reach out. We want to make sure that you have all the fun stuff. So we want it to be right, and we want it to work. So please let us know. Okay, the next engagement thing that we are going to talk about today is kind of just our engagement activity. Now, the most important thing is that we focus on the Wish Award, and we get that presented, and we honor our recipient today, who's amazing. So we will do that, but we also wanted to make sure that everybody had a chance to engage with each other and do something a little bit fun. So we do have an engagement activity for you today, and hopefully everybody got their information for that. So I am going to throw it to Joy Glad from our steering committee, and she is going to talk a little bit about the engagement activity and give you some instructions on how to do that. So with that, go ahead, Joy.
Good morning, everybody. So during our time together this morning, we're going to go for a few rousing rounds of bingo. If you haven't received a link to your bingo card, please check your junk mail. Hopefully your IT department hasn't made security super strong. During the presentations, excluding our primary speaker, there will be a chance to win 3 fabulous prizes. Listen carefully for words peppered throughout and click on the box with the phrase. This will give you an X on that box. When you get a bingo, please put it in the chat box, which I will be monitoring very closely. Also in the chat box, put in the 5 phrases that you crossed out. Now there is a free one in the center, so put that in there also just so I can make sure. Each time a bingo has been announced, we're going to wipe our cards and start again. Keep in mind there are more words in the program than you're going to see on your cards. So if anybody has any questions past that, you can put it in the web chat. And other than that, I'm going to hand it back to Lisa.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Joy. We are so excited to play this and see how we do. Like Joy mentioned, we're going to watch the chat. So we're excited. We've never done this on this scale. So be patient, but we hope you enjoy our bingo game, and just will direct you to your bingo card and the chat to do that for the rest of the event. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, so the reason that we're here, the Women in Safety Wish Award. Okay, so what is the Wish Award? Most of us know, but each year the Women in Safety organization presents the Women in Safety and Health Award to a deserving woman who has shown exceptional dedication and leadership. Okay, and then here is the criteria. Someone who significantly impacts the safety and health of employees, contributes to Utah Safety Council's overall objective of making Utah a safer place to live and work, participates or creates a unique safety initiative, exceptional performance in a leadership role, involved in implementation of a safety culture change in their workplace, or demonstrates creative excellence. So that is the criteria that was used to determine our winners. So we had so many amazing nominations. It was really exciting. And so Candy Schnakenberg from our Women in Safety Steering Committee is going to talk to us a little bit about the nominations that we received. So next up is Candy. Candy.
Thanks, Lisa. As Lisa mentioned, 2020 has been quite the fun year, I think, for all of us. And it involved a lot of safety changes and protocols that I think all of us, just in a working environment, had to adjust to and create. So our nominees that we had was just amazing. We got so many applications turned in. And so I did want to take a minute to at least recognize them because they did do amazing things in terms of safety within the Utah community. And they're just all phenomenal. So the decision this year was very, very hard, but I'll go ahead and get started. So again, you can see our list here. This has been our biggest turnout thus far of nominees since we've begun doing the Women in Safety Award. So it was really, really fun to get to learn about all these great women. I'll start with Jill Shoup. She works for Awareness is Key Safety and Solutions. Chris Golding, she works for Chevron in Salt Lake. We have Donna Carter, who works for Hudson Printing. Laura McShane, West Tech Engineering. Joy Glad, one of our panelists with Dynamic Safety and Environmental. Mindy Thurston with Barney Trucking. Jalynn Sorensen with Barney Trucking. Kathy Karras, Precision Building Systems. Marina Tuckett, Swift Beef Company. And then another one of our panelists, Naomi Resendez, Oakland Construction Company. And again, it was so hard to choose this year. And we look forward to reviewing your nomination, in future years. So keep working hard and doing amazing things because you guys were all great. It was so fun to learn about everything you have contributed to safety in our Utah community. And now I'm going to turn it over to Naomi, who is going to present and introduce our honorable mention.
Hi, everyone. Wish that we could meet in person, but due to COVID, it's just been a little different. But today I will be presenting our honorable mention. That is Chris Golding, and she is from Chevron Refinery. She was nominated by Kathy June, and Chris has been with Chevron for about a little over 14 years, and she has been a part of some very awesome safety initiatives over there. So we are truly happy that she was nominated by Kathy. We hope to see her nominated again next year with all the other gals as well. Congratulations, Chris. Over to you, Lisa.
Great, thank you so much, Naomi. Okay, so this year, we unfortunately can't be together, but we can actually take part and share in the surprise announcement. So I would like to announce first off that our 2020 winner of the WISH Award is Han No from OC Tanner. We are so proud and pleased for her. So one of the fun things that we got to do this year was surprise Han and give her award. Now, it took a lot of planning and coordinating. A lot of the people at OC Tanner are working from home. We tried to do delivery and we tried to kind of do some different things, but it's just such a crazy time that what we ended up doing was kind of crashing one of their team meetings, and Han wasn't aware of the award or what was going on. She was originally going to be on site, but ended up switching to a work from home spot. So I want to share with you guys the presentation that we did for Han when she won the award with her team. And it is a little Zoom meeting, so you'll have to think about this as as 2020. So it's a great event, but we do have some bloopers and some funny things that happened while we were trying to present this award, but we were still happy and we thought it turned out really great. So we are really excited to share this with you. So we are going to show you quickly this fun video. So watch Han. She is the one that's getting the award, and she doesn't know that she's getting that award. Joy is the one that's presenting that award, and then Havala is at the top. She's in the middle in the gray shirt, and she's the one that nominated Han. So she's kind of fun to watch during this little video as well. So I will go ahead and share this with you.
The Utah Safety Council is just like the creme de la creme of safety in Utah. So they just kind of wanted to share a few updates with you. So I'll pass it over to you guys.
Thank you so much for having us. We're really excited to be here today. There's a few of us on. Oh, you can't click off of it. I did. The call that are kind of representing the Safety Council, I think you heard John Wadakowski, our president. He said hello, and then we've got a couple of others, and we'll have them introduce themselves maybe later. So right now, we were asked to kind of share some information and some updates, some things about keeping ourselves safe when it comes to COVID-19. We kind of decided that topic has been done and we're over discussing it, and we need to take a minute and take an amazing break and do something wonderful and fun and worthy and worthwhile. So I'm going to talk to you quickly about our Women in Safety organization, and then we're going to kind of go from there. But we've got some updates for you, and we've been hearing a lot of great things are happening over at OC Tanner. So we wanted to kind of tell you a little bit about Women in Safety and kind of explain what we've been hearing and chat about that really quick. So I'm going to start and just kind of explain that, and then Joy's going to jump in and talk a little bit more about Women in Safety. So for those of you that don't know, Women in Safety is an organization put together by the Utah Safety Council, and it's a group of women, and we do networking and we do education. We try to do an event every other month, and basically we just want to kind of be a support group for each other. You know, a lot of times we find we get safety kind of ends up getting tacked onto HR or something, and people aren't always ready for the safety role. And then we have great people in our group that are, just advanced safety professionals. So it's just a great networking group. And one of the most important things that we do each year is honor an amazing woman, a professional in the safety space, in the safety world. And so that's called the WISH Award. It's Women in Safety and Health, and it's something that we like to present every year. Our organization does that. So that is something that Joy is going to actually talk a little bit more about. So Joy, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, and you can maybe explain that a little bit.
Okay, did I turn mute off? Okay, because I'm good at starting to talk and forgetting about things like that. So, all right, so I cannot express how honored and excited I am to be able to announce this year's winner of the Women in Safety and Health Award. This year, the Utah Safety Council's Women in Safety would like to present the 2020 Women in Safety and Health Award to Han No. Where'd she go?
Just had to step away. She just went to her door to get her treadmill.
Is the treadmill here? That damn treadmill!
So, Joy, you got to start over. When she comes back, please start over.
Rehearsal, Joy.
Oh my gosh, that is a crack up. I'm like,
While she's gone, let me ask this. Is it Shavala?
And the C's silent, so it's Havala.
Havala, okay.
Yeah. Let's wait a few minutes and just talk.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
You guys think I can edit this out?
Yes.
We just-
Or you can put it in and we can all have a good laugh.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay. Go.
I cannot express how honored and excited I am to be able to announce this year's winner of the Women in Safety and Health Award. This year, the Utah Safety Council Women in Safety would like to present the 2020 Women in Safety and Health Award to Han No. Han is the safety manager for OC Tanner in Salt Lake City.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm not done yet. Han was glowingly nominated by Havila Brothers, who is the safety and wellness leader at OC Tanner. Havila expressed how Han is the platinum standard when it comes to safety and health. Her dedication and creativity have taken her from the production line to her current role. In the 25 years of working at OC Tanner, Han has had some great accomplishments. Not only does she care about the people she works with, but also their families and the community surrounding OC Tanner. Han has created the Safety Catch program for employees to report and correct unsafe conditions. This report isn't just for reporting issues at work. Employees are also encouraged to report unsafe conditions outside of work. If any of you have driven past OC Tanner off Main Street, you may have noticed there are now some rapid flash beacons that have been installed. Han's swift action to have these rapid flash beacons mounted at the crosswalk on Main Street not only helps keep employees safe, but has also benefited the community. Han's creativity has produced engaging safety meetings, a monthly calendar for team huddles, and a seatbelt campaign using memes with over 200 submissions from around the globe. It is no wonder she has been part of the team that has received the Award of Merit more than just a few times. At the start of the pandemic, Han was also quick to create the sanitation and screening policy, which safeguarded OC Tanner employees when returning to work. Han has also received the OC Tanner President's Award. Her recognition states, "Your attention to every detail is revealed across all of our safety metrics, including far fewer safety incidents, significantly reduced costs, and overall safer and healthier employees. For your complete ownership of making OC Tanner a very safe place to work, we give you our A." I have personally known Han for many years now, and I can tell you that her passion and kindness for those around her is clearly visible in everything she does. Her positivity and thoughtfulness always shine through. So congratulations, Han. It is well deserved.
Oh,
Yay!
thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Thanks, Havila.
You're welcome. When you
Thanks,
walked away, you were
everyone.
like, no, come back. No, I had to lie a little bit to get you here. But as soon as I saw the email come through that this was an award that's going to be given out, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is 1000% Han. And I told Dana, I'm like, I need your help with, gathering up data because Han's been here 25 years. I've only been here 6 and I just needed info, and Dana helped me collect some stuff. And I even told Dana and Lisa, I was like, if Han doesn't win this, it's because of my poor submission. So he's so deserving, and you embody safety and wellness, and just fantastic role model and example, and just wonderful job. I'm so happy that you won. Very deserving.
Thanks. Wow, thank you. What an honor. I have a great team. Can you tell? This is my team, great people that I work every day and support me. Thank you. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And Mindy, can I go next?
Sure, let's let our safety council guest. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add or say today?
Want to show the beautiful trophy since we won.
Oh, she gets a trophy. Oh, I got a trophy too.
But we will get this to you, Han, and we have our event on Thursday where everybody's going to Zoom in and we're all going to celebrate. We've got your participant engagement kits, and I will bring you your award and we will celebrate on Thursday. Congratulations. We're really excited. Thank you so much. And we look forward to Thursday. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's so awesome, Han. Congratulations.
So well deserved.
No one is more deserving
That pesky mute button gets me every time. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. We just thought it was so much fun. It was so cool to see, but it also has, you know, the 2020 blooper included. So thank you for sharing that. And thank you to OC Tanner for letting us be a part of your meeting. And then thank you to Havla for that amazing nomination. So I also talked to Havla, and she was
of the
to send in, sorry, that's not the best picture, send in a little snip about why she nominated Han. And so we wanted to share that real quick with you as well. So here is Havla.
Hi, my name is Havla Brothers, and I work at OC Tanner as the Wellness and Safety Leader. I work very closely with Han, and I am the one who nominated her for this annual Wish Award. When I saw the Wish Award come through my email, I instantly thought of Han, and I automatically thought if Han doesn't get this, it's going to be because of my poorly worded submission, not because of something that Han lacks. Han is the definition of excellence. She does everything so precise and with such thought and care and consideration and thoughtfulness with all the different cultures we have at OC Tanner. And she really thinks about the whole person, not just the person at work. She really promotes health and safety outside of work as well, including people's partners, spouses, friends, kids, and really wants to see OC Tanner's community be a safer place as well. She, in my opinion, she does no wrong. She does amazing things. She engages our teams, from manufacturing to our executive teams. She's so hands-on. Even when we're in a pandemic, she still wants to be on site, helping people with their issues, being hands-on, you know, seeing where she can help. And she's such a go-to woman for so many things that I knew she was the perfect definition of this award. She strives and she makes people better. She helps people be them better selves. She has done so much for me, just being a great example and a great role model. I just can go on and on about her. All this while she's getting her bachelor's, and with having a family at home, she's just balancing everything so well. And she's just a great example of someone that should win this Wish Award. And I'm so happy that she did win. I know she's so ecstatic. Han, I think so highly of you. I love you as an individual. I love you as a coworker. I love you as a friend. And I love you as everything else that you are and everything else you do to support our community at OC Tanner, outside of OC Tanner, and keeping us safe. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Avila. That was really nice. We enjoyed hearing from you and hearing a little bit more about Han. So thank you for doing that. Okay, so next up we have our 2020 Wish Award event guest speaker. So I have a little video to introduce her, and then she will jump in and speak to us. So here is that.
Hey everyone, we hope that you are enjoying our virtual event so far. It's now time to introduce our guest speaker. So earlier this year, I was still under the delusion that we would be able to do an in-person event for the Wish Award presentation in December. And I did a little bit of research and looked into some things, and I found Caroline Gleich, and I was so excited to have her come and talk to us. She's really exciting and engaging, and she's had a lot of great adventures that she was going to share. Unfortunately, we had to do things virtually, and so she will come back in October of 2021 to our event during that time, and hopefully things are a little safer in our community and we can engage in person instead of virtually. But she has come to talk to us today, and we're really excited to have her energy and hear about some of her amazing experiences. So the reason that I thought she would be so great for us, and the reason why I felt like she would be amazing, is because not only is she an awesome skier and cares about a lot of the same issues that I care about, and I know a lot of us in this group cares about, but she is, the way that she talks about the challenges and turns them into adventures really resonated with me. And she talks a lot about risk management and compares that to kind of being an endurance athlete. And that makes a lot of sense in our world. So I thought that would be perfect. So Caroline Gleich is a professional ski mountaineer, endurance athlete, and activist for the environment and for equality. She's been on the cover of every major ski magazine, in award-winning films, and has summited some of the highest peaks in the world. And I think we're going to hear a little bit about that, so that's exciting. She is the first woman to have skied all the lines in the Shooting Gallery, a steep skiing guidebook to the Wasatch. And when she's not in the mountains, she's interviewing athletes, elected officials, and others for her podcast, The Caroline Gleich Show, about how sports can change the world for the better. Caroline is a committed activist for social and environmental justice, and she's testified to the House and Senate about how climate change is affecting snow sports. Caroline is based in Park City, Utah, and her goal is to inspire people to get outside and to live healthy, active lifestyles and to protect the places that we love to play. So this is why I've asked Caroline to come speak with us today, and we are really excited. So please welcome Caroline Gleich.
All right. So 2 weeks ago, I attempted to run 50 miles across the Utah desert, which was a huge challenge for me because I'm not a professional runner. I'm a professional skier. It was a new thing for me. And so today I am so excited to be here with you, this esteemed group of women, to share some of the things that I've learned about risk management and staying safe during endurance events, and about how we can better use our resources, embrace resiliency, and celebrate the successes along the way. And we're in this global event, this pandemic together, and COVID has really disproportionately affected women. I know that they have to pick up a lot of the burdens with childcare and housework. And so I hope some of the stories that I share today will inspire you to dig deep and realize that we're all capable of so much more than we know. Can everybody hear me okay? Is the audio level okay? It's always a little weird. I wish we were in real life, like we said. Just give me a thumbs up, maybe. Or, yeah, let me know if you can't hear me. Okay, great. Awesome. Thank you. And congrats to our award winners. And thank you so much for having me. And so, like Lisa said, thank you for the intro. I'm a professional skier, a mountaineer, and an endurance athlete. And I really got hooked on the mountains at a young age. On these, I grew up in Minnesota, and I would do trips to climb and ski out west with my family in the summer and the winter. And I'm in my very prolonged awkward adolescent phase in this photo. But also in this photo is my half brother Martin. He's on the far left of the image. And so when I was 15 years old, my half brother Martin was killed in an avalanche, and he lived here in Utah. He was a doctor, and that experience really shaped my way of viewing risk, because coming home from the mountains was always more important than any summit. And yeah, so I was just really hooked, but I wanted to do it safely. And so since I started pursuing my career as being a professional skier and mountaineer about a decade and a half ago, and since then I've climbed some of the biggest mountains in the world, and I've completed 2 ultra marathons. So these big endurance events. This photo is taken in the Cordillera Blanca Mountains of Peru. This is on Mount Rainier. And I've also done a lot of training and really cut my teeth here in the Wasatch, which I believe are some of the most beautiful mountains in the world. And we have some of the best snow right here in Utah as well. And so what I've learned from mountaineering and from endurance events is a couple different keys to risk management when you're really tired during an endurance event. The first is utilize your resources. That means leaning on teamwork, asking for help. The second one is embracing resilience, embracing each challenge, because when you're doing hard things, like I know all of you are, it's not how you get knocked down, it's when. And it's more about how you rise back up and how you deal with it. And the last thing I've learned is that it's super important to take time to celebrate the successes along the way at every little benchmark. And so I'm so excited to be here doing that with you today. Okay, so going into the first point, resources, using your resources, teamwork, asking for help. So after a decade of building my skills on smaller mountains around the world, I realized in 2018 that it was time for me to pursue my childhood dream of going to climb and ski in the Himalayas. And so I decided to go to Choa Yu. Mount Choa Yu is the sixth highest peak in the world. It's an altitude of 26,906 feet. And so anything over 8,000 meters is considered the death zone. And I'd never been to the death zone before. So when we're in uncharted terrain, it's important to build a team and to be smart in how we use our resources. And so normally I like to climb mountains in a small team with one other partner, but for this challenge, I decided it would be better to go with an organized expedition with guides, with oxygen support, with Sherpa support, and with the medical advice of a high altitude doctor. And so to prepare, we did our normal training. We'd load up our backpacks with rocks or water jugs, hike up the mountains, or sometimes we'd borrow our friends' kids, which was a really fun way to multitask too and to catch up with friends as we were training. And so getting to Choa Yu Base Camp, and so doing this as part of an organized expedition was a little bit out of my comfort zone. I normally, like I said, would do trips in a small group, and doing it with this bigger expedition was different. But one of the things a mentor told me a long time ago is that the biggest thing that kills ski mountaineers is pride, being too proud to ask for help. And so it sounds so simple, but it's one of the most difficult things to do, to admit that we don't know something. So this was a new experience for me, going with a big expedition. And this shows the route from Advanced Base Camp to Camp 1 and Camp 2. And so after a week or two of acclimatizing, we arrived at Advanced Base Camp. And I started to really feel worse and worse each day. And after a few days, my condition was really taking a turn for the worse. It was like having the flu. It was just it was really, really bad. And another way I manage risk is by reading where people go wrong doing this stuff, reading about accidents in mountaineering. And I learned from my research that high altitude pulmonary edema, or HAPE, is one of the leading causes of death for high altitude mountaineers. And I was realizing that I was having all these telltale signs. So with the advice of our medical team, I had to make this hard decision to go back down the mountain. And I'd already had to put my ego in check to go on this trip. But this point was really hard for me because I was one of the youngest people on the trip. I'm very petite. I'm 5'1". I'm one of the only women. And I feel like out of a lineup of mountaineers, I'm the one that people think is going to fail or die. And so I kind of felt like I was fulfilling people's prophecies by having to go on oxygen and go back down the mountain. And so one of the ways we treat high altitude pulmonary edema is with oxygen, and another is with medication. Surprisingly, we use Viagra to treat this. And so I was taking Viagra and it was having really bad effects on my stomach. And so I wasn't able to eat or drink anything, but I was slowly getting better. And so after, all I wanted to do was go home. But in the Himalayas, you're really far from a plane ride home. You're like a week away. And so the high altitude expedition doctor encouraged me to stay here. And after 4 days, she and the rest of the team determined I had recovered enough to go back up the mountain, which was like mind blowing to me. I was like, how can I do that? I can't, it's gonna be terrible. Monica, and so her name was Monica Pires. It was really wonderful to have a woman as our high altitude doctor. And I said, Monica, I can't go back up. I haven't eaten or drank in 4 days. I'm so depleted. And she told me something I'll never forget. She told me, we have deeper reserves than we think. And so with her advice and their supervision, I went back up the mountain. I went to advanced base camp and I felt okay. And okay is good because you never actually feel good at high altitude. And then after a couple more days, we went to Camp 1. And then it was time for our summit push. So for the big mountains on summit day, we wake up in the middle of the night around 11:30. We start climbing at 1 a.m. At high altitude, every little thing takes all your energy. So it can take a really long time to get dressed, get your boots on. And this was a sunrise right at 8,000 meters, coming up into the death zone. And I reached the summit, and on the summit, I dropped down on one knee and I proposed to my partner. I said, Robert James Lee, will you marry me? And he said yes. And so we got engaged on the summit of Choyu. And so right behind me in this photo is Mount Everest. And what I learned from this trip is that that asking for help and utilizing resources is so important for trying new things and being in uncharted territory. I never would have pushed myself that far if I didn't have a trusted team of advisors. Of course, you want to be wary of the expert halo and blindly trusting them, but in this case, it helped me guide myself through a situation that I had never experienced. And because I had a team and I listened to them, I was able to achieve something big. And so while we were on the drive to Choyu, I peered out the van window and this snowy peak started to come into view. And I was like, oh, I really want to climb that. Turns out it was Mount Everest, or Chomolungma or Sagarmatha, as it's in Tibetan and Nepali. And so what I've learned through the experience of trying to climb Everest is embracing resilience, embracing challenge, and knowing that it's not how you get knocked down, it's how you get back up. So on February 26, 2019, I made a final non-refundable, non-transferable payment to climb Everest in the spring. And just getting to that point of fundraising was a huge endurance event because I didn't have that kind of savings. I had to go ask for sponsors and do slideshows. It was a major grind to get there. And it's just one that's not as visually stunning as being on the mountain. And so after transferring this amount of money, that was a very large sum, the very next day, I was out skiing on a video shoot and I took a fall. And during that fall, I heard my knee pop and I just felt this devastation in it was like one of the worst feelings I've ever had. So I went to the ER and I was just completely out of sorts because in my gut, I knew what I had done. And that is I had fully torn my ACL. So a day later, it was confirmed with MRI. And this was an absolutely devastating moment because this was 7 weeks before we were supposed to leave for our trip. And it had been just such a grind to get to this point. It felt like an impossible setback. And so I consulted a team of experts, a PT, a sports med doc, orthopedic surgeon. I talked to our expedition guide, and we determined that I could rehab my knee without surgery and I could still go to climb Everest in the spring without my ACL. And so I basically had to learn how to stabilize and balance my leg without one of the major stabilizing ligaments. It was super challenging. And when I left, my longest hike without my ACL was only 8 miles. And so at every step, I was constantly checking in with myself, taking it one day at a time. But I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to be a liability to anybody on the mountain. Because one thing about managing risk is you don't want to make the situation worse. You don't want to create more victims. And so on April 20th, we left Park City, Utah for Tibet. And then we arrived after about a week of travel to base camp at 17,000 feet. And so, yeah, it was just super stressful and super hard acclimatizing and then moving up to advanced base camp at 21,000 feet. We spent a week there. And acclimatizing at these altitudes, it kind of feels like having the flu. It's like being sick, except we chose it. And so it's really just about nailing the basics: rest, water, hydration, food, and taking care of yourself. And so after a few weeks, we made it to Camp 1 on the North Col, and we had a good weather window to go up higher on the mountain. And it's also just incredibly cold and windy. And so just trying to stay level-headed and trying to also stay detached from summit fever and from the outcome, and really just trying to be in the present moment and checking in with the physical and mental feelings. This was a sunset I'll never forget at 25,000 feet. And these photos just show how physically and mental fragile we are at these altitudes. I mean, it's really hard to make good decisions when you're so fatigued, and with the effects of the altitude and the draw and there's just a lot of different factors. And so we spent 2 nights at Camp 2 because we wanted to wait for some of the crowds to pass and go the day after. And then this was our summit day. So we woke up again at 11:30 p.m. We began climbing at 1. And during the climb, I was just constantly checking in with myself to make sure I wasn't pushing myself past the point of no return. And so this is just one of those moments, the sunrise, when the sun first hits your face, it's wonderful. And these are some of the final steps to the summit. And at 7:30 a.m., we reached the summit at the highest point in the world. And for me, it was just sort of surreal. A lot of people are like, was that a hugely celebratory moment? And for me, it was not the celebration moment, because when you're up on the summit, you still have so far to go. I mean, in this photo, you can see how far away base camp is. And we still have tons of technical terrain to cover. And so I think making sure to pace yourself in these endurance events, that's another thing, because they just draw so deeply on your reserves. And after 18 hours, we made it back where we could take our crampons off, and to be out of the risk of rockfall and to be out of the death zone, it was a huge relief. This was kind of the first wave of relief, and the second wave of relief happened when we got back home to Utah. But one of the things that I learned is, you just have to keep, instead of seeing challenges as something to overcome, you have to just learn to work with them. Like my knee pain and the problem with my knee wouldn't go away until I had it surgically fixed. And so I had to learn to live with it. And embracing that spirit of resiliency, we can achieve hard things that seem nearly impossible. And along those lines, the other thing that I learned when I was checking in with myself is to really trust my gut and to listen to my intuition. One of the best things that women can do is to trust our intuition, and especially when it comes to high-risk environments. A woman's intuition can really keep a team safe. So always speaking up if you feel or see something. And so after we got home, 4 days afterwards, I went under the knife and I had a full ACL knee reconstruction. And so it's a fairly major surgery, and it was, again, back to square one, where I had to start rehabbing everything. And so that was in June of 2019. And shortly thereafter, I got married. I left that photo out. And so it brings us to the current situation, celebrating every mile. And so running 50 miles. So this, as I started it took about a full year for my knee to feel better, to the point that I could start running and training consistently. I was able to ski last winter, but ACLs just take a really long time to heal. And so with Everest and climbing big mountains, there's a time and a place to take bigger risks. But during the global pandemic we're in now, with hospital beds filling up, I just felt a responsibility to shift my focus to something that was less risky. And so I decided to start training towards this dream I've had for a long time of running 50 miles. So, let's see. So I charted a route. So over the last few months, I worked my way up to longer and longer distances. I hired a coach to help me with my training plan. And when I ran my first half marathon after surgery, I had a celebration. The first marathon had a celebration. Whether you're running 1 mile or a marathon, it's important to celebrate all of the benchmarks along the way. And so I began my 50-mile run. I decided to do this long point-to-point through the desert in southern Utah, and it started out around 9,000 feet. I decided to start running at 2 a.m. And so this was just 2 weeks ago, the day after Thanksgiving, we went down there. And it's okay to pivot sometimes and to try new challenges. And I think when you're deciding when to take risks, that it's important to keep into consideration all of the factors going on an individual level and a global level. Like when there's too much stress, you don't want to take big risk. So running felt accurate for me. So I started the run at 2 a.m. under the nearly full moon. And the first 30 miles of my run, I didn't do any recon on it. I just drew a line on the map. The road was completely covered in snow and it was about 10 degrees. It was very, very cold. Never did I think that Everest would help train me for ultra running. But that moment that the sun first hit my face, it was just a mini celebration, a little dance. And so this was that moment. It was very chilly still. And because of running all those miles on the snow, I had a lot of pain in my foot. I developed this excruciating pain in my left foot. So I've done a couple different endurance events like marathons, and my body tends to really break down after 30 miles. So this is right before the meltdown. And I was running completely solo, but I was supported by my husband and my dog. And so they followed behind me in the car, or they went ahead and set up a little aid station. And so thank you for them for all their work with that. So here's some of the scenery dropping in. This is near Canyonlands. And then this is when I just had a total breakdown. It was so hard with that excruciating pain in my left foot. Again, checking in with my team, checking in with myself to make sure I wasn't pushing too hard. And so at that point, about mile 35, I had to celebrate every half mile because it was just very slow going. And then my goal was to try to finish before dark because I started at 2 a.m. and I really didn't want it to go back into the night hours. But the sun was starting to set. I just put on more layers, kept going, and the moon started to rise. And after about 15 hours, I'm going to play this little video clip. I hope you can hear it. It was a huge relief to finish. And I don't know if you could hear it, but I'm yelling, I did it, I did it. And so one of the things for me with running and with the whole pandemic, 2 weeks before this run, I lost my dear aunt. And so I ran really to help contribute positively to my mental health. I ran to celebrate my aunt, to remember her, to celebrate her life. And I ran because when we set big goals for ourselves, we create the best versions of ourselves. So by setting this goal and committing to that plan and doing my runs, it just really helped me take care of myself. And so I wanted to remind you that there's nothing selfish about self-care. Like I said, it creates that taking care of ourselves, setting goals, and doing things for us. It helps us show up really positively in the rest of our lives. And so whether you get one thing done in a day or 10 things done in a day, I want to remind you to celebrate, because when we celebrate and we bring that spirit of positivity, it opens up our brains to more flexible, creative ways to solve problems. And I wanted to give a huge thank you to my crew, my partner, and our little dog. And I wanted to remind you, so we can manage risk during endurance events by utilizing resources, teamwork, embracing resilience, getting back up, and celebrating accomplishments at every step. And I know I breezed over some pretty big events, so I hope to get into those more when I speak with your group again and we gather, hopefully in real life, in October of 2021. So thank you so much. All right. Do we have any questions? Do we have time for a Q&A, Lisa? Thank you all so much for the opportunity to speak with you today. And yes, I love celebrating accomplishments and the spirit of the luncheon today. It's so important to reflect back on everything we accomplished, because I think it's really easy to get caught up in the hustle too much and forget what we've already done.
Okay, we're slow. Thank you so much. Thanks, Megan. Okay, Caroline, that was amazing. Thank you. That was great. Did anybody have any questions they wanted to throw in the chat for Caroline? If she's willing, we'll ask her. I know my boss is sitting here and he's very impressed that you did all that cool stuff. So there is one, but I can't read it. Can you read it, Megan?
They're just compliments.
Oh, just compliments, no questions, just people excited. So we are so grateful to Caroline, and we look forward to having her come back and visit with us in October. Hopefully we will be able to be in person, but that was really interesting. I learned something new about Viagra. I learned a lot of great things, but I hope you guys agree that changing your challenges into adventures is huge, and that was great. So thanks, Caroline. We will see you in October. Okay, so next up, I'm just going to show one more quick little video, and then John Wojciechowski, our Utah Safety Council president, will wrap things up and we will be done for the day. But I quickly wanted to mention that so far we have had a bingo winner, and it is Kristen Schulson, who was our last year's Wish Award winner. So winning the Wish Award last year, winning bingo this year, maybe she's not having as terrible of a year as the rest of us. But no, we're excited for that. So we will finish up. I think we got a couple more prizes for bingo. So maybe listen to this video and see if you get any clues. Oh, Joy's waving her finger at me. We have more winners.
We have a bingo number 2 winner of Donna Carter.
Donna.
Oh, we have a third one that just showed up, Melissa Shaw.
Ooh, Melissa, yay. Okay, great.
Wow.
Our 3 bingo winners for today. So I hope that was fun, you guys. I appreciate Joy putting that together. Sometimes it's fun to just do something a little bit different. So congratulations to the winners. I will get you your lovely gift cards that you won shortly. So, okay, I'm going to share this video, and then we will let John speak, and we will be done for the day.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you once again for joining us today. I want to take just a minute and express some appreciation. I had a lot of help and we did this together. So on my team, Kenzie Logue, who made sure my labels were straight. If the labels look nice, that was her. If they didn't, that was me. She's our emergency care manager and helps out quite a bit. Amy Figueroa, who she's gone through a lot lately, about to go through a whole lot more, and she found time and energy to help make sure that I had what I needed and that our boxes turned out so great. She was able to push me when I needed to be pushed, and she's just such a huge help, and I just appreciate her so much. Megan Spackman, who is my assistant when it comes to tech, she's been super helpful and is very invested and wants to make sure that Women in Safety is an amazing experience for everyone that participates, and so she's really behind the scenes, but she makes sure that I don't forget those important details that sometimes I forget, and she just makes sure that the tech side runs smoothly and makes sure that I don't get a little too in over my head. So I really appreciate Megan for that. Brandy Crockett, who is our Vice President of Operations, she has started the Women in Safety organization and is so supportive and just makes sure that we have everything that we need to run smoothly. She also asks the Brandy questions and just make sure that it's an amazing experience and it's what it should be. So she's so great at giving good direction and making sure we don't forget the details. So thank you to Brandy as well. I would also like to thank Caroline, our guest. She went back and forth with me, changing in person, not in person, what I wanted her to do, what I didn't want her to do. I sprang 2 events on her, and she was just so happy to be part of what we're doing. So I appreciate that quite a bit. I also would like to say to our Utah Labor Commission, again, we just appreciate everything, and we are able to do things like this because of the Utah Labor Commission. They provide the funding and the resources for us, and so we just appreciate them. You know, we've heard this is why you can't have nice things, but we can have nice things, and we can do these great things because of the Utah Labor Commission. And so I don't think they always get to see the end result, but we just want to express our gratitude and just share that they're an amazing support, and definitely what we need to continue to make this a great experience. So we appreciate them, and thank you. Then lastly, I wanted to thank the Women in Safety Steering Committee. They were just volunteers to help out last year, kind of last minute. I just continued to reach out to them for different things throughout the year, and then finally decided to make it an official thing. So we've been through a lot together. I think I've had meltdowns to most of them, yeah, probably all 3 of them, but they stepped up when they didn't have to, and they were so supportive and made sure that I had what I needed, and they were just willing to help out in any way. And that's when I think about women in safety, I think about them, and why I am so passionate and I love this group is because we are a group of women that can reach out and help and support each other, and that is what my steering committee has done for me over the past year. So I wanted to just express my appreciation, and I had little awards made for them. So I will show them. I've got Joy Glad, right? So this says Women in Safety. I should turn it around the right way. Megan would kill me for this. Joy Glad, Women in Safety presented to Joy Glad in recognition of exemplary service for 2020. So thank you, Joy. And I've got Candy Schnakenberg. So in recognition of exemplary service as well. So Candy, thank you so much. And then Naomi Resendez, she also helps keep us out of our own way. I just appreciate her, and I appreciate all of these amazing women that have helped so much. So thank you to the 3 of you. I appreciate you, and I look forward to working with you in the future. Please reach out if you are interested in joining our group or our committee. We're always looking for help in any way, shape, or form. Behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, we're always welcoming anyone that wants to participate as far as organizing whatever you can do. We'd love to have you, so please make sure to reach out. Also, we have a LinkedIn group that we kind of started, and we are going to be using that. So if you haven't joined our LinkedIn group, watch for that as well. We will record today's session and make sure that gets posted and shared all the usual ways. And I want to remind you that our next Women in Safety event is going to be in conjunction with the Utah Safety Conference, and that's going to be in March. So watch for that, because it's going to be virtual, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be doing a lot more games, some contests, and we found some really fun and cool ways to engage with each other virtually. So please watch for that. More information is coming for our next event. Lastly, I just want to say congratulations again, Han. We are so proud and pleased, and we look forward to celebrating with you throughout the upcoming year. So thank you again, everyone, for attending. I hope you have a safe and happy holiday season, and I will see you next year. Thank you.